and y'all know I got my co-host with me.
What up, y'all?
JD with me, guys. Today's episode, I'm super excited. Well, you guys know I'm always super excited about what it is we're going to be talking about because we get to come up with it ourselves. But today's episode I thought would be fun. It would be light. It would be, of course, funny, for us to kind of go over some of our previous dating stories, but we are going to talk online dating today, guys. We are going to talk Tinder. We are going to talk Facebook dating. I think they started Instagram dating too now. They have Hinge. I can't even think of all the...
J-Date, that's all I got.
J-Date. They have the Timey or Taimi or whatever for girls. That one's specifically for lesbians. Grindr is for gay men. So we're going to get into it. Of course, we haven't been on those in particular. However, we are going to get into dating in person, finding someone in person versus dating online. Like, what's the pros? What's the cons? What are the risks? What are the gains from it and whatnot. I don't know if you guys know. Maybe we'll tell you guys that full story today as well. But Jess and I actually met online, good old social media. It wasn't necessarily an actual dating app, but we did meet online and through an app.
Some people would consider TikTok a dating app, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not one of those people. So I'm not aware. But yeah, so we actually met online. We met on TikTok during one of my viral surges on TikTok. I never knew which videos were going to pop off and which ones weren't. I was literally just on there talking shit. It would be whenever I would go manic or my brain would just kind of go on these tangents, I would get on TikTok and just see how many other people out there thought the way I did, or whose brains worked the way I did, or who would find this humorous. So I would just be, my silly, goofy self, and I found my tribe. I found my people, and just happened to come across my page and join the tribe. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking online dating, actual apps. I believe Jess was in a very long-term relationship before we got together, so she said she doesn't have very much online dating experience.
I have zero.
I'm the only girlfriend that she, I guess, had a crush on before she actually met in person. Your girl got sex appeal electronically. Your girl got skills.
Electronically.
Sexy. I'm digitally sexy. I'm going to add it to my resume. I am digitally fine, okay? But yeah, so we're going to get into fun and funny questions about online dating and relationships in this modern age society and answer some questions. And as you guys know, I have a story for everything, so I'm sure she'll ask some questions and we'll end up on a tangent of some sort.
Oh, it's going to be a tangent.
It's going to be so much fun. So as y'all already know, sit back, relax, grab your popcorn and grab your popcorn. I went real hood on y'all. Grab your popcorn and your wine and get ready to laugh. Laugh it up with us. When you want to start the questions, baby love?
We're going to start with you. Okay. What's the most hilarious, disastrous online dating experience you've had?
I've had some pretty tragic fucking dates. Yeah, like now that I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, I've had some pretty, like, are you serious, my guy? I had one guy ask me out and he said he had reservations for us and it was a late night like restaurant. And I was like, oh, okay. So knowing me and knowing how creative I am, and you know the type of dates that I try to plan. Like even with us, when we first started dating and I didn't have the amount of money that I wanted, we still went to what I would consider pretty upscale restaurants, even the cheaper ones like Ida Claire's. That's a less expensive restaurant, but it's still upscale.
Ida Claire's is delicious.
And very good. Right? It's still an experience, right? And that's what I want. I want my dates to be experiences. So he said he was taking me out on a late night date to this late night spot. And I thought, and he didn't say anything like to try and make it sound like super exclusive. He said late night. And for me, late night, knowing the type of dates that I plan for the people that I'm dating, I assumed it was going to be like, ooh la la. It was not. He took me to Waffle House. Yeah, definitely pulled up to Waffle House. And like we were sitting there for a while. I just automatically assumed we had pulled up because he needed to get something. He was meeting somebody for something. I didn't ask no questions. I just sat there very politely in the car waiting on us to pull off to wherever it is that we actually supposed to be going. And he kind of looked at the restaurant because we were in the middle of a conversation. We kept talking or whatever. And then finally he was like, all right, well, yeah, like, I mean, we could finish this conversation inside. And I was like, yeah, the way your face is looking is how mine looked. My eyebrows raised so high. I'm sorry, what? Inside there. Yeah, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm a eat because I love Waffle
right.
House.
Like, I was just
but
like, this
I'm
is
not
where
going out
you
with
date.
you again.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And again, he didn't communicate that it was going to be top notch. It was going to be something amazing.
You just assumed that?
I just assumed because it was a date. It was a first date. And again, I mean, you can tell them the type of dates that I'm used to not only going on, but taking people on. Even when I'm buying, when I'm the person who's paying for the date, it's still an upscale experience. So I don't know what made him think that Waffle House was just where I was ready to be chilling. But
wait, so how was the conversation once y'all got inside, though?
Oh, I kept my cool. I don't have a problem with Waffle House. I still enjoy the food. I still, go and hang out on my own. It's just not a dating place to me. It's not where you go because you want to create an experience for someone that you enjoy. It's you go because you're hungry. Yeah.
It's usually because you're
and
drunk
it's cheap. Yeah.
or high and hungry.
Yeah, it's not where you go to actually create an experience for someone. So that's what had me a little confused. But the rest of the day went fine. Our conversation went fine. He seemed cool. I wasn't romantically interested in him the more we continued to talk at Waffle House. But he was cool people. We remained friends for a little while. Like, what is happening right now?
And drug dealer.
Or married, like you can't go somewhere upscale because people might recognize you. It was giving like I'm a secret, and I don't like that. It's kind of what it was giving.
Really?
Yeah, the vibe was given like I could take you to somewhere else, but I came here because I figured nobody I know would be in this area of town because it looked like he didn't know where he was going either. He used like a GPS to get to. We were on the complete opposite side of where the fuck we were, so I'm pretty sure he met me over there where he usually is because I lived in an upscale place area, and he took me to the wrong side of town for that reason.
And what app did you meet him on?
I think I met him on Tinder.
Now Tinder is the one where you swipe?
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of them that you swipe on.
Oh, see, I don't even know how it works.
I think Tinder may have started the swipe. But yeah, so I would probably say, I don't know if that's hilariously disastrous, but it definitely, I know my face said some things to him when he said, you want to finish this conversation inside? And I was like, inside what? Inside of where? What? Yeah.
Well,
another one was a guy who didn't actually plan where we were going. We literally rode. Like, he just drove. And he was, like, trying to find a place where we could, like, possibly hang out. But it was actually hilarious because it ended up being a dope-ass date. We were literally just riding. He kept trying to find, a duck pond or something we could just go and sit and chill and talk. And the ride ended up being the coolest part of the date because we just rode. We spent like an hour and a half just looking for somewhere to chill because he didn't plan that part out. And usually I would have been really irritated with that, but I would have been irritated with it because someone would have not planned it out, and once I got in the car they would have expected me to help with planning it out, and they wouldn't have had money to do anything, and like it just would have been all kinds of stuff that would have irritated me with that. But that wasn't his problem. He was just like, I'm trying to find a place where he kept describing the place, and I was like, ooh, I could see that sounds good. What about a duck pond? And we were just talking and laughing and cackling and laughing. Both of us laughed till we cried for quite some time while we were in the car because he was just as silly as I was. It was a really great date, but it was us driving down 35. Yeah, that's what the date was. It ended with a picnic, though.
Somebody said reservations at Waffle House is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was like, because I guess he did try to make it seem like it was exclusive when he said reservations. Because I was like, ooh, at a late night spot, reservations at a late night spot. I'm dressed up too.
Bullshit.
I'm dressed up too because I'm cute. Because I'm like, ooh, it must be like some type of exclusive. I'm thinking like some type of Lux Club or something. Even though I'm not a clubber, but it's our first date. I'm like, maybe he is. He's trying to show me something about himself. Cool, let's get it. I was cute as fucking Waffle House.
And he took you to somewhere that somebody probably didn't have no teeth serving you.
I was cute as fuck at Waffle House. This is a little old lady. She had teeth. They just want us. She had plenty of teeth. She had all 32 teeth. They just belonged to somebody else.
Oh, they were manufactured. All right. I don't have any online dating experience. I haven't been on any of the apps, but I will give you a disastrous one. And this is not the reason why I don't date men. But one of the last dates I ever went on with a man, I went to back at home in the hood. We go to this place to go play basketball. I would go there every day after work, every day to go hoop. And it was this dude every day. He was asking me to go on a date, and I kept telling him no. I didn't want to say, nigga, you're not my type. It's not that I was going for a woman at that time. It was just he wasn't my type. Mm-hmm. And so finally, I just broke down. I was like, all right, cool. We can go on a date tonight. He was like, all right, bet. I'll come pick you up at this time. Go home, get ready. And I'm about to start sitting and waiting. And he calls and he's like, oh man, something happened to my truck. Can you come get me? I said, all right, man, I come get you. So went and picked him up. First of all, is where he lived is not a standard of mine. Go pick him up, and I was like, all right, so where we going? He was like, Chachos.
They trying to get y'all shot on your first date. Oh man,
we going to Chachos. All right. I love Chachos. Yeah, so love Chachos. I'm not a bougie person. I wasn't like, I'm not finna get out. So we go.
For those of y'all that are not from Texas, Chachos is a Mexican restaurant that serves like the fire or the best nachos, chicken tacos you will ever have in your life, and they serve some of the strongest margaritas you will ever put in your fucking system.
They make the tortillas right there. Mm-hmm. They make the steak nachos, chicken nachos.
It's not
right
expensive,
there.
And they make everything in house right there from scratch. So it's so good, so hot when you get it, so delicious. But it is a hole in the wall restaurant where people often get hurt.
And I was just about to say, get shot or beat up.
Yeah, there's lots of fighting. There's lots of fighting because I won't say it's because of the drinks, but the drinks are so strong and they're inexpensive, so you can get a lot of them. Young people like to go as soon as they turn 20, 21, whatever. Everybody's in Chachos. You get good food for cheap, good drinks, and then people get violent. They get to swinging. I don't know, but right around midnight, 1 o'clock, you want to go home. Yeah, you want to go home. Don't stay around that late.
You can't even go through the drive-thru sometime at Chachos at night because people shooting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So that's what type of restaurant this is. I didn't have no judgment because like I said, I love Chachos.
A frequent Chachoer.
So he paid for the food, right? And he was like, "Oh, you want to get some margaritas?" And I was like, sure, I drink Jack. I don't really drink margaritas like that, but I was like, all right, sure, that's fine.
Chacho's got a Jackarita.
Back then, I don't think they had one, and if they did, I didn't know about it. So he was like, I got the food, so can you get the margaritas?
How you gonna ask me if I want one, and then what, boy?
That was my thing. It wasn't nothing else, but it was the fact that he asked if I wanted a margarita, and then
it was his way of segueing that he wanted a margarita.
Yeah, but couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford it. So I was like, sure.
Nigga's funny.
This is the last time I will be going out with you. To myself. And the rest of the conversation of the date was terrible, and I had to take him home, and somebody was outside of his apartment arguing when I was taking him home. I was like, I don't feel safe, let me go. So yeah, that was my disastrous story. Yeah.
Can you share a quirky or unexpected trait you've discovered in a date through, since you haven't done online interactions, what about like phone interactions? Like maybe you ask somebody for their number or something, like an interaction before you actually go on a date.
So how I ended up getting your number, I thought was really cute. But I was just like, we had our interactions on TikTok, you know, duetting each other's stuff and responding to each other's videos and stuff like that. And I was just like, hey, I feel like we friends now. Give me your number. And she didn't respond.
And she felt like, because she felt like that was cute. Did y'all hear her? I felt like the way I got your number was cute. I feel like we friends now. Give me your number. That was her.
Wait, is that exactly how I didn't say it like that exactly, though.
Basically just reversed. You were like, is it cool if I have your number? I feel like we friends now, or something like that. Yeah, it was still the same. I feel like we're cool now. Give me your phone number.
I mean, that's what you do in real life human interactions. Did we just become best friends? Give me your number, girl. That's what you do in real life, right?
I guess. I don't know. I guess people just slid in my DMs differently before.
Yeah, they was sliding in your DMs on some, I'm trying to holler at you and slurp you down type
You wasn't
shit.
trying to holler at me or slurp me down.
At first, I wasn't. At first, honestly, I just wanted your number because I thought you were funny as shit. Mm-hmm. And I thought we would be really cool.
Well, you were correct. What was the question? Can you share a quirky or unexpected trait you've discovered in a date through online interactions? One thing that I'll say, I won't even necessarily say it's quirky. I notice that people try their best to appear intelligent or smarter than they are when they're trying to pick up, specifically when they're trying to pick up a woman that they deem or that they feel is high value. And I've noticed this quite a bit in online or when somebody's trying to contact me in my DMs or whatnot, specifically in men where they try and have really, really deep intellectual conversation, but the fact that you can't spell lets me know that you are not as deep or intellectual as you were trying to come across. You feel me? And I pick up on shit like that, right? So if you're messaging me and it's good morning, queen, you know, grand rising, blah, 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 whatever. And then every time I say something to you, you're trying to come back with something deep or spiritual or just, you know, so intelligent. And you're trying to have like little intelligent banter. For most people, you're trying to establish your dominance, and that's fine. But that works for people that you're not actually more dominant than. So if they actually fall for that, you in the end aren't going to end up attracted to that same female, because eventually you got to realize that she is not as smart as you thought she was, because you can't fucking spell. Like, that's the part that gets me.
Yeah, like if I don't catch your misspellings, I'm not as smart as
exactly
you thought I was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, when that's one of the quirky things that I've noticed a lot when it comes to people sliding in my DMs or in my text messages. I feel like when they find out I'm a comedian, they try and be funnier. I'm the comic. I didn't need you to do that. If you're naturally funny, then be funny. And if you're not, then just be you. Like, I'm trying to get to know you. You can tell that I'm intelligent, so you automatically start trying to use words that you ain't never used before, so you're using them incorrectly, and that's going to irritate me. Right? You're using the words wrong. Okay, or incorrectly. So that's one of the things that I'll say that I've noticed when people are trying to, like you said, you're meeting their representative. I don't feel like y'all coach your representative correctly. Like, y'all don't practice with your representative before you get in the game.
That's just flat out just lying at that point. At that point, that's just flat out lying. Not putting a little bit more effort than you know you gonna give later on.
Child,
there's a difference.
I was on blackpeoplemeet.com. And there was this one guy on there, and everything about his profile said narcissist that will beat your ass, okay? And I was reading it because he was basically saying, like, it said, I work for the government, and that's all that I can say. If you can't respect the fact that my job is important and that sometimes I'll be away, you know, then just go ahead and swipe right. Yeah. And then it was like, I live in this space, and I would like a woman in this space. If you do not live in this space, then that's okay. You would at least need to be able to consider moving to this space. You know, I'm a very private person. So blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, it very much so gave that he was preparing you that he's a private person, so that once you meet him, he can get you to cut off everything else, and that nigga's gonna beat your ass. Like, that's all I was thinking. I was like, nope. No, those are classic signs to cut everybody off. I'm the most important thing in your life, and because my job is so important, you can't have social media, and because my job is so important, you can't have your friends because you talk too much, and because my job is so important, we can only see your family at this time because my job. He seemed like his whole bio seemed like it was gonna set you up for some shit like that. And he had liked me because it shows you first on this app if they like you, and then you can decide if you like them back or whatever. And part of the petty in me wanted to swipe just to see what he was gonna say to me, but I was like, nah, because you be the one that be done created an obsessive relationship in your head and be at my door. And I don't know what your government job is.
Right. His job was too important to be at your door.
Your important job be something that make you be able to hack my shit, hack my location. No, thank you. I'ma pass on that, good sir.
All right. So tell us about a time you tried an unusual or unique dating app or website.
I thought Facebook was going to be unique, but I actually, for me, what was the most unique was Hinge. And
wait, what's that one? Is that the one that claims we want you to delete me?
Yeah.
I seen them commercials, yeah.
Hinge. And I liked Hinge because, once again, the men had to initiate or whatever, or the women had to initiate or something like that. It gives us kind of the power there. But also, it gives you a certain amount of time to respond. Or no, that was Bumble. That's what it was. It gives you a certain amount of time to respond to the message, or your likeness of that person disappears. Like, clearly you weren't interested enough. They know to move on. Boom. You ghosted them. So I liked that factor of it. They can't see anything about you without your permission, like clicking on things. I liked that. So that was fun and unusual. The thing I really liked about Bumble as well is you could literally put on there that you were looking just for friends, and it would show you to other people who had listed that they were looking just for friends as well. Or you could use just the complete side of the app that allowed you to just be shown to friends, right? So, yeah, I would say those were the kind of coolest apps that I had used when I first decided I was going to get out there.
Yeah, nah.
It was also interesting because it didn't show me, like, mostly black people. Hinge showed me mostly white people, white or mixed, or that's where I met my first Samoan date.
You went on a date with a Samoan? How was that?
He was beautiful.
I bet he was.
He was fucking beautiful.
I bet he was.
It was dope. He was just a liar. Yeah, it was dope. It was a dope date. We both had a good time. Or actually, no, I take that back. He was not a liar. He was just down on his luck, and I wasn't in a position to where I was trying to help him get out of the situation that he found himself in. He was one of those people that was going through shit, but he didn't want the solutions. He just wanted you to pity the fact that he was going through it.
Oh, we know people like that.
Yeah. So he was just like, man, this is happening. And I said, well, why didn't you do this? Well, because this and this and this and this and this. And then I tried that, but I thought about that because da-da-da-da-da. And then, well, why didn't you do this? And da-da-da. It was always an excuse on why it wouldn't work out for him. It just had to be sucky. And I was like, oh, I don't operate that way. Like, I don't live life that way.
Not
yeah.
the
It seems like you enjoy being here. Like, you enjoy being at the bottom. If somebody's not just going to do it for you, then you don't want to do it. And like, he wasn't even manifesting. Like, you're just sitting in darkness, bro. You're just sitting in it.
Some people feel like they deserve that.
Yeah, I couldn't help at that time. I couldn't. I was not interested in joining him in the dumps. I was like, oh my God. And I think that's why he wanted to date me. I think I showed him a different side of joy that he hadn't seen before. And he was trying to latch on. Yeah, I was like, I think he was trying to latch on to, thank you. I think he was trying to latch on to light. And he saw a light in me, so he was craving that light. But I was like, I can't be the light for both of us. You got to show a little something, bro. Glisten or something. Do a little glitter, something.
Shake
glitter.
Your shit just a little bit.
Like, if I hit you, will it at least, something? Show me that you have a glow, bro. Like, everything. He had an excuse for everything. He was like, my car broke down. Then it got towed. So even if I get it towed to the house, it doesn't work. So I'm trying to figure out how to work that. This person's trying to put me out of their house, but I paid, part of my rent. I just didn't have it all. But we supposed to be boys. Like, it was just everything that could go wrong was going wrong at that time, and he didn't want no solutions. He just wanted people to feel sorry for him or feel bad for him, and I was like,
But it was so nice
meeting you. He was beautiful.
I bet he was.
He's probably either really successful now or he has a bunch of kids and is living off his baby mama. It's no in between. He either got off his ass. He
couldn't have just a stable, normal job.
No. He either got it together or he went to jail. Yeah, he was one of them.
All right, what's the funniest first date mishap you've witnessed or been a part of? Oh,
I have two. I already told y'all about that date with the New Yorker. that beat me in basketball, and just like he gave best friend vibes instead of like man who will protect you vibes. Like, get off my woman. He seemed like more like the type that would like tap you and be like, run, sis. Like, he would make sure you knew that there was danger there. He wouldn't just leave you.
Hey, I wouldn't mess with that one.
He seemed like the type of man that would be like, hey, pay attention, but not the type to be like, I'll take this bullet for you. Like, no.
You better duck, bitch.
Yeah, he very much so gave you better duck, bitch. But what was hilarious about that first date was I met him online, and my best friend didn't trust the app in which I met him. I think he was one of the ones I met on Hinge. She didn't trust it, so I told her where I was going for the date and whatnot, and that I would text her if it, went bad or if it went good, this, that, and the other. But the date ended up going for a really long time, and I didn't realize that she had texted me while we were playing basketball and whatnot. So not only had I been gone for a long time, but I had not texted her back, which was a red flag for us as best friends. So in the middle of my date, my best friend actually pulled up to where we were. And when she got inside and searched for us and saw that we had sat down to have like some drinks after we had played basketball and did all of that, she sat like 2 tables over from us. I did not see her, guys. I did not see her. But she snapped hella pictures of us and sent them to me on Facebook and was like, and the next time I call your phone. And you say you on a date with some random nigga from New York.
Danger!
Right. She was like, I came up here ready to mob on this man, and you sitting here giggling in his face with a martini, bitch. She was like, enjoy your date, like being petty. But yeah. So that was funny. That was a funny first date. He had no idea she was there either. Neither one of us saw her sitting there snapping pictures, and they were cute too. She snapped some of the cutest doggone pictures of us. She was like, if y'all get married, y'all could put this in your album or whatever of your
first
crazy
date.
best friend, right, of your first date. But yeah. So.
It's real though. Keely went on her first date with the guy she's talking to not too long ago and had to send her location in the group chat and the live location, not just where y'all was going on a date, but just in case we go somewhere else, you have my live location.
Yeah, we need all that. We need all that because people don't know how to take rejection no more.
That is exactly correct. First date mishap for me. This is just in life.
I went on a double date and they ended up fighting. We ended up having to jump his ass.
Wait, you and your homegirl jumped the 2 dudes?
No. So.
Oh, Lord.
So it was a double date. It was me and my homeboy. And my date and his homeboy. My homeboy was gay.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So it was me and 3 dudes in this situation, and his date got drunk and started cussing and became real belligerent, and he cussed my friend out and his friend out. I was the only person that he didn't cuss out until I started swinging. Now,
wait, how was he swinging, getting bopped in the mouth? I mean, cussing, getting bopped in the mouth.
But then it was like that. Yeah, he was still getting it out. But boy, yeah, he was one of them that fought like this.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I ran straight through that set.
So your homeboy took the straight one and you took the gay one.
No, that's why I said we ended up having to jump him. Me and my homeboy jumped him, and his friend
just stood there.
Just stood there for the most part, and then helped get me off of him and just let them fight. Yeah, he pulled me out the situation and was like, "What the?" He pulled me up and was like, "Yo, you strong." Sat me in the bench and I was like, "He got me fucked up." I was sitting there and my hair was all over. Like, he got me fucked. I was like, I was lit, bro. He sat me down.
Did he
like,
call you back
okay?
after that?
He did, and we actually cackled. I think they ended up like not being best friends no more. For like 2 months, they didn't talk to each other, and then they finally became cool. And he was like, "I'm gonna invite him to one of your game nights."
Psych. Unless he want to hold stumped on him again. Psych.
Right. He ended up not coming. I think he did though. I think he invited him, but he just didn't come, and I think that was a smart idea for him.
Good choices. Good choices.
But what was your mishap? What was your disaster?
Okay, so I'm gonna go way, 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 way back to high school.
Way back.
me and my best friend at the time, Quincy, we went on a double date. That sparked it when you said double date. So we went on a double date with these dudes, and the dude that was chasing her had been chasing her for a minute. So she finally said yeah, and he was one of those, you got a homegirl for my homeboy. And I was like, hey yo, if you set me up with a whack job, you owe me, my nigga. You owe me. So we were in high school. I think we were seniors at this point, and they might have been like 20, 21, something like that. They had their own stuff though. So they came and picked us up, and I was weirded out from the beginning because I looked at homeboy's shoes and mine were better than his. So I didn't like that from the beginning. But I just looked at her in the car and I said, you owe me. We was sitting in the back. You owe me. So I was just clowning the whole time, like underneath my breath. But then we get in, it was a Chinese buffet restaurant, right? And homeboy is fucking this food up like he ain't never ate before in his entire life. Like this is like he just got out of jail and this is his first meal.
Oh man.
Out of prison.
I'm scared that's gonna be legend. I'm scared that's gonna be my baby. And then he'll have the nerve to look up at you and be like, you ain't hungry? You want to eat your food? You don't like it? Because y'all, my son will eat with his mouth open. He will make all the joy noises to let you know his food is good. Just like his goddamn daddy. Get said what? Close your mouth, son. Slop mouth ass baby.
Oh goodness.
But anyway, continue. So he eating like he ain't never ate before.
Yeah, he eating like he ain't never ate before. So there's food all over his clothes, hands. Oh, but when I tell you, let me show you how this man was eating. I don't have nothing that's shaped like a fork. So I'm just gonna hold. He was holding the fork like this and eating like this.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Full fist. Just a fist of fork.
And I'm looking at Quincy at this point in time like, nigga, I'm ready to go. What is happening here?
Right now. Not today, but right now.
And I'm at this point, Queens of Comedy had just came out, and me, Quincy, and Kiki watched that shit like it was brand new every day. So we knew it by heart. So I'm quoting lines from the movie. Me and her cracking up, laughing at him, and the homeboy's just embarrassed. He like, God damn. Mm-hmm. The kicker for me was when he went to go take a drink out of his glass, and he picked that shit up like this.
Oh.
He picked that shit up like this.
I'd have been like, am I being punked? This is a prank, right? Where the cameras? I know y'all playing with me. I know you playing with me.
Yo, that was the funniest thing ever. Once I got over that it wasn't a date for me no more.
Once you two-hand pick up your cup, sir.
Like a fucking toddler with a sippy cup.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so that was my funniest first date mishap. I had another mishap, but it was...
How do you feel about going Dutch on first dates?
I don't mind. But I haven't had very many.
Like if somebody asks you out on a date and then you get there and they go Dutch, or if somebody asks you out on a date and you say yes and then they say they want to go Dutch, how do you feel?
Well, if you ask me out, I would say, if I really want to go on a date with you, I would say yes. If it was something that I was on the border with, I probably wouldn't do it because you asked me. But if it's something like we agree on at the same time and then say, you know, we should just go Dutch.
You would still count that as a date, though? That's an outing to me.
I would count it as a date.
I would count that as an outing if we hear about something cool while we're out together or whatever, and then we're both like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. Oh, yeah, you want to go? Oh, yeah, that would be dope. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just go Dutch. To me, that's just two people going out and having a good time. We were both interested in whatever it was.
Oh, so you're saying the going Dutch takes the dating?
No, I was asking for you, for your opinion, because it sounds like you had a double standard there. If somebody asked you out for a date, you might say yes if you really wanted to go on a date with them, but otherwise you probably wouldn't be interested. But then you said you're okay with going Dutch before I clarified that it was somebody asking you, as in you would be cool with going Dutch for somebody else if you asked them out.
Oh, you just confused the hell out of me.
It sounded like there was a double standard. Like, you're cool with going Dutch if they're cool with going Dutch kind of situation, rather than just having one way or the other.
If I'm asking someone to go out on a date, I'm not going to ask them to go Dutch. Because it was my idea. I want to take you out.
Right. But then you just said if somebody asks you out on a date and they want to go Dutch, if you don't really want to go on a date with them, or unless you really, really, like, are fucking with that person, you probably won't go. That's a double standard, is it not?
My preference.
That that's a bad. Yeah, I was like, not that it's a bad thing, because I feel like I have the same one. I'm just not going.
It's my preference, yeah.
Or it's just not a date to me. I'm either not going or it's not a date. If we're going Dutch, then that's my homie. That's my friend. That's my bro. And I don't mind paying for the whole thing if that's the case. There are comics that I've paid for our entire meal together who we sat and had a couple appetizers or vice versa, and you've asked me, like, how much? What did you spend? You know, kind of situation. But we homies, we friends, that's the bro, that's whatever. Now, in the event that it were a date and someone were pursuing me, I would side-eye if at the end they were like, oh yeah, separate checks, please. I always make sure I have the money that I need to pay for my stuff anyway, but it would symbolize to me that we're not having another date, or that this was not a date.
I wouldn't go on a date, like a first date, I wouldn't go on a date if I didn't have the money to pay.
Right. I went on a date, another guy that I had met on Tinder. We went bowling and had some pizza at one of the little gaming places. Had a great time, but I knew I wasn't going to see him again. He was dope. He was a little bit younger than me. But during our date, he mentioned he didn't have any kids, which I was cool with, but then he also mentioned his 2 roommates, which I was not. So I was like, I think we're in 2 different places maturity-wise, because I already had my children, my own place, my own house. I was kind of getting my stuff together, and he was in college with 2 roommates.
But that's acceptable for college.
Right. He's in college, and he just graduated college. Either way, but he was still trying to get himself up and together, and that's not where I was in my life at that time. So I knew I wasn't going to see him again. He seemed cool, but the conversation wasn't enough to make me think he was mature enough to handle everything I had going on. Just a good kid is what it felt like. So I knew I wasn't going to see him again. So I paid for that. I didn't go Dutch. I did none of that. I was like, I got it. And he was like, what? Wait, what? Are you sure? Like, I could tell on his face he was confused, which let me know also that he was raised right. But I started seeing him as my little brothers instead of as someone I could romantically be involved with. So I paid for the date and I went on about my doggone business.
And the fact that he let you pay, let you know he didn't really have it in the first place.
Yeah. He was like, really? Yeah. I got it. This
Thank you,
like
Mom.
Right, yeah. I was like, it looked like you had to hustle this up. And it was a cute date.
Keely said she had a guy use a Groupon on the first date. Is that acceptable, guys?
How y'all gotta tell me. Groupons?
Yeah, well, Keely, you gotta tell us what the Groupon was for. Was it for like a very expensive date that was half off, or was it like a cheap date that was even cheaper?
Money to me.
Was it a cheap date that made it even cheaper? Like, I gotta hear this, because
was it like a buy one get one free situation?
You know, Keely's already very frugal, so I have to hear this about this. Have you ever been on a date with somebody who used the Groupon? A first date?
If they did, I didn't know it. Yeah. No, I take that back. I did. I had a guy who got concert tickets to like a silent party.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's where you usually find those. The silent trap parties, that's where you usually find them, is on Groupon.
Well, I usually find them on Eventbrite, but I think it just linked that way. So he found it on Groupon, ended up on Eventbrite, and ended up getting it. But yeah, he did it through Groupon and got us VIP tickets instead of the regular tickets, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. What about if they use it for like a restaurant?
I wouldn't mind, but if they have used it in the past, like I said, they didn't let me know about it. They probably let the restaurant know, or whoever know, that they had that before we ordered, which is what you're supposed to do for people who do not know that. So if you are using a coupon or a Groupon or anything for a restaurant on a first date, I'm about to give y'all some key.
Pull the waiter to the side.
Right, give y'all some key. Pull the waiter to the side. Make sure that they know that you're using said coupon or whatnot, and not to bring it up at the table. And if you want to avoid that as a whole, you can literally give them your credit card information right there, so that when they're bringing the check to the table, they're bringing you your card back. so that the meal is already paid for. It also makes it seem like you had reservations. Even if you didn't, it'll make it seem like you already had everything taken care of. It keeps the awkward conversation of who's paying and, you know, her trying to fumble in her wallet or whatever to pay for. All of that's been taken care of, baby. As soon as they bring the check, they just giving me my money back. It's already been taken care of. And it also makes it look like you're a I got it type of motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Just off GP, you pull your waiter to the side, or when you first get there and you're checking in because you did make reservations because you know what you're doing. When you get
she
there,
is a reservation type person.
Yes, when you get there, you just or when you call to make your reservations, give them the card number then. I know a lot of people be like, oh no, they gonna run my card. Girl, these people are not getting ready to run your card. They know you probably only got $35 on it, but you're trying to be professional, or it's a professional, you know, thing. So that's what I did when I did our date at the Mayfair. I called and I put my card on file, and that way when I was doing the social media thing and told them this, that, and the other. So that when we went, we sat, and that's why when they came, they brought us all the little slew of desserts that we could try and taste and all this kind of stuff.
That
it was a
dope.
professional way that you put it together. It makes it seem like you are somebody that you're not.
Y'all out here getting these tips.
That's all I'm saying. I am a very great date planner is all I'm saying. I feel like we can make a great like business out of that. People who don't want to plan their dates, or somebody who just sucks at planning dates, and they pay us to plan their freaking dates. What kind of stuff do you think she's into? I will get you a top star flight. What is your budget?
And I need a percentage of your budget.
Exactly.
So leave that
what
out.
is your budget? I'm going to charge 15% or whatever for this date. And yes, y'all can go ATV riding. You can have a picnic in the Grand Canyon, and you can end at whatever, this theater show right here. And boom, you definitely at least getting a kiss at the end of the night. You did good, son. You feel me? So that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so
ladies, if y'all are dating somebody out there that don't know how to plan dates, just tell them go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and message Joe so that she can help you out. She only charges 15%.
Can you give a good idea for a budget-friendly first date? I know you don't know nothing about budgets.
Yeah, I was like, I balls to the walls on budgets, but for a budget-friendly first date, going to a duck pond, like I just said, and feeding the ducks while talking, but grabbing something so that you can have a picnic first is super dope as well. So like you can just run to Subway, get Subway sandwiches, some chips, maybe a charcuterie board or something from Walmart, put it in a little basket. It looks like you did way more than you had to just because you put it in a basket. Looks like, ooh, you planned that. And you ran to Walmart. It took you 10 minutes, bro. I'm telling you, bro, or sis, whoever's on here, it takes you 10 minutes to do that stuff. But it comes across as so much effort, and it is effort, because that's all people really want today. So go get a sandwich, go get some fruit and veggies for a cute little charcuterie board, and a couple drinks, and go have a picnic at the duck pond. That's like $15, $20 with inflation. $20 to go and sit out there and feed the ducks. I would recommend going to a duck pond that has tables so that you're not actually sitting on the floor, because ducks like sandwiches. They really, really, really love sandwiches, and some of them are not kind. Don't ask me how I learned. They don't all want to be your friend, and they do bite. Did you know ducks have teeth?
Yes.
I did not know ducks have teeth. I got a scar. That motherfucker bit me hard as fuck. But I used to take my kids to the duck pond all the time. I had a date at the duck pond. Yeah, I'd recommend getting one with a table, and you guys can eat, drink. It usually ain't no time limits on a lot of those duck ponds because it's at a public park. So you can literally sit there, and if the date is going super well, make sure you brought enough snacks. Y'all can sit there all day if you wanted to and chill and laugh and blah, 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 blah. And if it's not going well, you could always try and spice it up with something else. Also, while out there at the park, you could also get easels and those little dollar store canvases and some paint, and you can paint with each other out there at the park. You can paint anything.
I got another question.
Okay. All of those are less than $50, guys. Go ahead. I mean, all of that is less than $50.
What's your stance on sex on the first date? I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm very much so when it comes to the energy of it, because if you want to be with me, you want to be with me. I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am, and my value does not decrease.
based on how you feel about whether or not I gave it to you. If anything, I don't think there's been somebody that I've had sex with on the first date that I didn't end up with in a relationship with. Like it never became a one night stand type situation. It was like we left and then it was like, ooh, like, yeah, I want that. I know. No, I'm playing. But there always came a commitment with it for me.
It was never the other way around.
With me chasing them?
Nah, I'm just saying you was like, ooh, I want that.
And not off dick, no.
Oh.
No. If I wanted them before the sex. The sex was like, ooh, yeah, you can have it because I want you. It was never I want you because of how you just put that down. It was never that. It was, yeah. Oh, but to answer your question, I'm cool with sex on the first date. I go off of vibes. So if we're really, really mixing the way that we're mixing on a spiritual and a mental and an emotional level already, and it raises that sexual tension that way, if they're with it and I'm with it, then I don't see a problem with us deciding to give in to those urges.
I would agree.
Yeah.
In the lesbian world, your dates usually last for days anyway.
Mine didn't.
Oh Lord.
Got about 4 hours.
It was longer than that?
Not including the car ride.
It was longer than that?
It was 4. No, it wasn't.
It was longer than that.
Of the amount of time we actually spent together, it may have been 5 hours.
I did have to travel to a whole nother city. Can I get my travel time?
I just said outside of the car time.
Yeah, Delisa, she petty. She petty.
TikTok, remember D? You remember me getting on TikTok later on that doggone day or later on that evening? Like, I thought it was going well.
Let's move on.
Let's
share a funny story about a relationship milestone that happened during a virtual hangout.
Say again.
A funny story about a relationship milestone that happened during a virtual hangout or date.
During a virtual hangout. Oh. I don't know. You want me to tell this story?
It sounds like I don't.
When we first started dating and you was at B house for the first time, you got drunk.
You can't tell that story.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta think of another one.
You can't tell that story because I didn't know.
Why?
I didn't know.
That ain't part of the question, and they knew about it. That ain't part of the question. You asked for a funny story. That shit was funny.
All right, fine. You go ahead. Tell it. Y'all.
Jess and I had just started dating. We were not together yet. We had just started dating, but we had probably been talking to each other for a couple weeks.
It might have been like 2 or 1.
Yeah, like a week and a half. I'd probably say right in there. 10 days. We've been talking to each other, and one of her best male friends, had a party at his house, and she went over. She was drinking, and we were on the phone almost the whole time. She kept like, this is in the honeymoon, like real honeymoon phase where you don't want to not be on the phone with the person that you're talking to. So we're texting, we're calling, we're, FaceTiming every few minutes like she ain't at a whole party that she's supposed to be entertaining other people at, right? And during one of the times that she was FaceTiming me, she was in the bathroom and she had been drinking
profusely.
Yeah, they were shot. Profusely. Everything was shot o'clock or whatever. And she didn't realize that where she sat her phone, I'm just looking up at her, and she ain't got no bottom half of nothing on. No clothes, no nothing.
I was using the bathroom. Yeah. I went to go use the bathroom, and I was on the phone.
She set the phone on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she pulls her hands down.
Goodies.
All all of Miss Ma'am, everything in the camera, just for me
I
to see.
didn't know. I ain't know. I was really drunk.
And I didn't like panic or anything. It ain't like it's
She
my
didn't
first
even
time
say
seeing it. Yeah, I
anything.
was like, it ain't like it's my first time seeing a freaking vagina. But I was just like, oh, okay, that's comfort. That's comfort. That's what that is in my head. So I just kept talking to her. She was talking to me, and she turned around and everything to flush the toilet. I'm looking at her bare ass. She was so happy. Pulled pants up, turned around, and she's like, hey, beautiful, blah, blah, talking to me. And I was just like, yeah, that's okay. And we kept talking. Like, I didn't break
Character
nothing on my face. I just kept having a conversation with her. But yeah,
Shaky,
and I told
you
her,
didn't know this because I didn't know this.
I don't even think I brought it up until a week later.
A week? I thought it was like a year. My time is skewed, but whatever.
I brought it up a week or so later. She was like, what? No, I didn't. I was like, yeah, definitely saw all of you. Or actually, I don't think it was a week. I think it may have been like a month and a half, because we talked on the phone for a while before you could actually come and see me. So I think it may have been like a month and a half later before I finally told you.
Yeah, it was a while. It wasn't.
Yeah, because it wasn't until after we were actually intimate that I said something.
I was mad embarrassed though. Still, I was mad embarrassed. Oh snap!
And as y'all know, I'm one of the most non-judgmental people. Yeah. So I was just like, that's life. Okay, you had a good time at that fucking party, man. But yeah, so I got to see her body before we actually got together, and she apparently had no idea. It was just as drunk as she wanted to be. You were so happy when you turned around and I could just see your booty. I was like, okay, she's having a good time. I just sat on I was in my bed. I just sat on the phone grinning.
I just thought it was the front. Now it was my booty. I'm more embarrassed.
Little light-skinned booty.
Oh God. Oh man. Yeah.
So that's one of them. Funny virtual dating experiences.
Oh snap.
Mm-hmm. And we weren't even together yet. We were still just talking, dating, talking about dating.
What? Have you ever been catfished online?
I have, but it wasn't by someone that wanted to date me. It was by someone who was trying to find out if I was dating the guy that she was interested in. It was a girl catfishing me, trying to see if I was talking to her boyfriend.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Were you?
I was talking to the individual that she thought that I was, but he wasn't her boyfriend. She was just crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, D, I was okay with her seeing my front, but not my booty. See? That's what I'm talking about. Right there. She can palm one of my butt cheeks.
You still got the goods, girl. But
have I ever been catfished? If I have no idea.
You still catfished? You're like, I didn't care enough.
Yeah, if I've been catfished, I did not care enough.
I get that.
Or I have no clue. Somebody could be stalking my profile right now, and I have no idea. I do not care that much online at all. But y'all, we got a few more minutes left. If y'all not on TikTok, what's the bad bitch filter called that I love?
Oh, I forgot.
It's called like Glamour or something. Bold Glamour. Y'all, if you not on TikTok, or if you are on TikTok, you gotta use the Bold Glamour filter. Look, this Bold Glamour filter got me feeling like a bad bitch. I might be going to get a sundress if I keep using that damn filter. It is amazing.
Man, oh man.
You can see me in a dress if you go back and look at my old pictures. I was in several weddings in dresses. That's about it. I don't know why people want to see me in a dress. You want to see a hood nigga in a dress.
She looked like every other light-skinned girl in a dress, y'all.
God dang, I don't stand out a little bit, babe.
You got locks.
I don't stand out a little bit.
What you mean stand out? Like body-wise?
you just put me in the category with everybody else. How would you feel if
No,
I put
I'm
you in
saying
the
with
category?
everybody saying that they want to see a hood nigga in a dress. From what you saying, I was like, you gonna look just like every other girl in a dress because you only a hood nigga because of how you dress now. If you
Oh.
put on a dress, you a girl. That's it.
Yeah.
I think the thrill will be gone.
The thrill is gone.
Yeah. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Laugh Therapy, guys. I thought we were going to get to a lot more questions than that, but our stories took up most of our little time. But I think now that we've covered going over some dating tips, though, I think doing one where we did dating tips would be dope.
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you think?
Yeah.
Because
We definitely make that funny.
Yeah, I was like, not to like toot my own horn, but I'm really good at putting together dates, y'all. Experience. Okay, so we'll start drafting that, and that may be our episode next week. We'll see what happens.
Love
but
you
thank
too,
you
D.
guys so much for tuning in to Laugh Therapy, where we elevate your mood and your mental one laugh at a time, and we will see you guys next week.
See y'all.